McCoy over Bradford. Is that the way you're leaning right now with your Heisman ballot? The Heisman ballot's sent out this week.
And you know what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to remove the emotions that voters have about the process. And I'm trying to think back, and I'm trying to think of the body of work that the University of Texas had when they had that 4-week run against all those great football teams, and they come up short at Texas Tech. Colt McCoy was the guy.
I guess one question you could ask yourself, we talked about this a little bit earlier, between Graham Harrell, Sam Bradford, Colt McCoy, Tim Tebow, which team would suffer the most if you took one of those guys out of the equation?
You saw McCoy on the sidelines as the backup John Childs, a sophomore from Dallas, hands to Vondrell McGee. I thought Mac might put in McCoy, for a couple plays in the series, maybe give him a curtain call. He's still got the helmet on.
You know he wants to go back in the football game. But Mac Brown told us yesterday, fourth quarter, I'm subbing.
He wants to go back in the football game. I would argue it has less to do with Big 12 championship or less to do with the Heisman Trophy as it does going out and beating Texas A&M because he's lost twice now in a row.
He didn't like the Aggies that much. No. He is, as we said, not only lost, was knocked out of the game. And Childs, who's a pretty talented guy as well. McCoy has another season. Childs is a sophomore.
You didn't answer your question that you posed. Which team would suffer the most if they lost their quarterback?
I would argue it would be Colt McCoy in Texas and Tim Tebow in Florida. In my opinion, if you remove those guys, Florida and Texas suffer the most.
But is that the criteria that you use?
No, absolutely not.
No,
but
not
I think it's something because this race is very tight.
And to be fair to Sam Bradford, Sam Bradford is a dominant man over there. He is accurate. He has all the weapons, and he disperses the football. Without him, they're not the same football team.
Childs fires over the middle, and it's complete. Remember, this guy coming in was 10 of 11 throwing the football. Montre Weber makes her first catch of the night. So he actually has a higher quarterback rating than McCoy.
Well, and he didn't have a lot of completions last year. And if I'm not mistaken, heading in late in the season, he didn't have very many at all. His completion percentage was minuscule.
But you could see the progress during the summer, and watching him in 7-on-7, how he threw the football. He's getting better. He's a fast player. And Greg Davis and Mac Brown planned on using him a lot this year. They were going to have a combo package for Childs and McCoy, but Colt got so hot, they just left it alone.
McGee will slip down for a loss. But that's a factor too, guys, is that in this modern era where pollsters are 2/3 of the BCS, and the BCS in the case of the Big 12 South is the 5th tiebreaker, but the one that could come into play. Taking your starters out, you see less and less of that. You don't see Urban Meyer showing a lot of mercy.
And Max said it too.
You don't see Bob Stoops showing a lot of mercy.
We're losing sportsmanship is what we're doing. Where is it where a team can't show sportsmanship on the field? When you're out there and you're trying to throw another touchdown. But nowadays, if you do that, you get penalized by the voters who are looking for big points.
He dragged down as he tried to break free. That'll be 3rd and 5.
This goes back to the question, we've seen all these signs tonight, 45-35. How relevant is it really? If we have a 3-way tie at the end of the year in the Big 12 South, do you think voters would kind of put all the head-to-heads aside because everybody's beating each other? Or I wonder sometimes if voters, because Texas Tech just lost by 44 points to Oklahoma, if a lot of voters have kind of just said, Texas Tech to the side, we're really looking at Oklahoma and Texas, and that's when
the emotions I'm talking about. That's the
when
problem
that
with the
becomes
system.
relevant, and that comes down to the individual voters.
Yeah, but that's what you got to get rid of your emotions to be a fair voter in this process, and you have to think about the body of work.
I saw that Danny Gore got into the breakup. Childs footed with an interception, and the Longhorns will have to punt, breaking the streak of 5 straight possessions. Well, here's the key thing, guys. The Harris poll, which has 114 pollsters, that is a very slim margin for Oklahoma. Now, the coaches, this is perhaps the more surprising thing. Of course, always tells me the coaches understand head-to-head what happens in the neighborhood. The margin's much bigger. So what will the coaches do? The Harris poll voters watching this game, watching the Sooners and the Cowboys, the computers are going to give Oklahoma a slight edge after they play Oklahoma State.
If they win.
And this is an ugly punt, partially blocked, but it's going to work out okay for Texas as it rolls out of bounds at about the 41.
I'm just really glad that this last coaches poll, when they vote, that it'll be made public, because all of the agendas that might be out there, we'll find out about them.
It's a sport of agendas. Bob Stoops doesn't have a vote, but there are 7 guys in the Big 12 who do. college football prime time presented by Applebee's. It was rivalry week, and most of the 95,000 or so here in Austin still in their seats. This one's long been decided, but it is sweet to see Texas pay back A&M, and they want to be here for every play as Johnson scrambles and gets back to the line of scrimmage. You know, you don't see too many folks leave. Take it right to the end.
Yeah, 2 years in a row, the Aggies have messed up the Longhorn season. And the players really, you could almost sense it. They knew what was at stake. And Mac Brown made sure that they didn't have a really good Thanksgiving dinner, that they thought more about playing the game than they did turkey dinner.
Johnson fires. Misses Fuller. Reese, what do you have for us?
Chris, got a little Dr. Pepper Big 12 conference update. And while the Aggies couldn't derail the Longhorns, a team that once was known as the Aggies, Oklahoma State would love to do that to Oklahoma Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern on ABC, as the Sooners try to make their case for playing in the Big 12 title game.
Yeah, Reese, that's the weird thing with this system, too. Texas must root for Oklahoma. If the Cowboys win, Texas Tech wins the Big 12 South because of the head-to-head against Texas. It wouldn't be a three-way tie. They got to root for the Sooners, but not to win by too much, right? I mean, Johnson buying time, bumping into a lineman, and he'll be sacked. Arakpo got him. It was a group of Longhorns. Sack number 5.
Now, this Longhorn defense absolutely showed up tonight. Arakpo and Miller yesterday in the meeting said, we will be ready for this football game. All night long, the pressure's been there, and they should have been there, Jesse. They played up to their potential against this Aggie offensive line that wasn't real strong.
So the low punt, and Shipley retreating, and just ducks down at the 20. Don't forget another rivalry game where you cannot write off the home underdogs in this one. The Seminoles, I know they've been dominated by Florida, big underdogs here, but that defense of Mickey Andrews trying to play big against Urban Meyer's offense. It is clicking. Maryland, BC will decide. Division in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Virginia Tech and Virginia, key game in the other division.
You know, a little bit follow-up on that question there. If Oklahoma State wins, remember Mac Brown said yesterday, what happens, though, if Texas Tech goes in, plays Missouri in the Big 12 title game, loses, and all of a sudden we've sat at home and we have a chance to play for the national championship.
Well, under that theory, though, yeah, once again, you'd have a non-winner of their division in the national championship game, which we've had a couple of times. It's happened in the Big 12. It was Nebraska.
Okay, well, let's take this deal here. So what? The Big 10, Pac-10, they're not playing conference championship games out there. I'm
not saying it shouldn't happen. I'm just saying that it's one of the funky components of this system. That it's become almost fashionable to defend the BCS and because it's been attacked for so long. And the playoff proponents are really just howling into the wind. Even the president-elect. This is Johnson. And the big man breaking free. Cody Johnson into Aggie territory. And he didn't want to run out of bounds. It took a couple of Aggies to push the 255-pounder out after a 61-yard game. Who says he's a short yardage specialist?
And a 255-pound back is not supposed to have this kind of vision and speed to get outside because he's not used to running outside like that. But at 255 pounds down the sideline, it's not going to take just one defensive back to get him out of bounds. You're going to need a pack of them.
He's had runs of 23 for a touchdown and 61 yards. Got it again. He says all season long I've been going in there when the ball's on the 1-yard line and doing my simple job. Coach, look what I can do if you just give me the rock at another spot on the field.
Well, I can assure you one thing that Johnson doesn't have is a lot of stamina at this stage of his game, and 17.6 average is not bad.
But you're right, Jesse. The guy's clearly got speed.
Oh, he does. He's got a lot of vision. He's kind of showing you that. He looks a little bit like Jerome Bettis back there running his big body inside with the ability to stretch it outside. Very, very impressive. And he's 4th on the depth chart right now at Texas.
Childs feeds it to him again. Johnson hammering forward. It'll be near the first down marker at the 10-yard line.
One thing Mack Brown's been able to do is recruit kids that are very talented, that have been blue chips since they were sophomores in high school. But he's doing a nice job now of transitioning them from thinking they're really good to making sure they prepare like they're good. He's getting the talent out of them now.
Mack Brown has a milestone. This will be win number 200. He'll tie Jim Sweeney. It's closing in on guys like Vince Dooley and Don Nealon in the all-time win list. Division I. Third and short. Sneak it near the 9-yard line.
He's like 50-something away from Darrell Royal, the all-time guy here at Texas. You know, and if Mack goes another 5 seasons the way he goes, catch Coach Royal.
Nobody's going to catch these two guys over here. And Mack says he wants no part of coaching up into his late 70s like Bowden or early 80s like Joe.
Well, it's amazing what Mack Brown's been able to do since 1998 to now. 113 wins. This will be his 114th. That's most in the Football Bowl subdivision. He's been incredible.
This is Cody Johnson again, fighting forward. Yeah, and Mack says don't misread the situation. Will Muschamp named kind of, head coach in waiting to keep other schools from poaching him off and give him a head coaching job. He would have had clearly major offers this year. Don't think that means I'm going to ride off into the sunset in a couple of years.
That's why I use the word designated.
Yeah.
It's not in waiting. There's no timetable on this. But I think the ultimate thing was he ensured this year and next year's good football team that if they play for the national championship, he's not having another defensive coordinator to have to deal with.
Put you on the spot. Will Muschamp, will he be the next head coach here?
I think so. Where else is he going to go? Wait 10 years. He's only 47 years old, and if it's handed over when he's 47, he's got a pearl.
Cody Johnson hammers down near the 2. I asked that because, look, you can give him a designate head coach title or whatever, but if Mack decides he wants to stick around, I mean, Muschamp is going to continue to get offers, right? And Mack wouldn't.
But where does he go, Chris? Jesse, where does he go? You go to a Tennessee or a Clemson, and if you win there, then you hope to get a school like Texas?
Well, Will Muschamp told us he's not battling to have that head coach plaque on his desk. He's young. His family doesn't want to move anymore. Loves the city of Austin.
His wife wasn't going with him.
Absolutely not.
and
so that
Chris,
answers your question.
And Chris, Mack trusts that Will's not going to be backstabbing him with this title.
Here's Big Cody going for the hat trick. No, check it. Childs keeps it and walks in. The Aggies fool as the backup quarterback directs a touchdown drive and gets into the end zone.
Well, Mack Brown right now getting the best of both worlds. You take your starters out, but you continue getting style points.
I thought we were going to see Johnson, so did the Aggies. Giles is waltzing into the end zone from about a yard and a half away. Now they bring Ryan Bailey. Longhorns have used 2 different kickers. Bailey, the one that hit the left upright with that field goal attempt earlier. Knocks this one through. 40-point lead.
Mack Brown really used John Childs in the spring to help push as best he could Colt McCoy. Childs has great vision. He's got the ability to run the football. He's strong in the legs, and he's fast.
And tough night for Matt Featherston. The middle linebacker had him, could not hold him.
That's a couple of missed tackles now for Matt Featherston. Again, he said that was the key for him coming in this game was to tackle well, but Texas done such a good job tonight running the football in all phases of the game, regardless of who's been the ball carrier. You just seen the depth and the talent that Texas has in the backfield this year.
536 yards total offense now. Should be the finale for Stephen McGee.
McGee's uniform looks like yours after this morning's crew game.
Mine got dirty in a non-contact game.
You were all over the place, Fowler. I'm telling you, you look like Crabtree out there today. Jesse, was he not your go-to guy?
There's one drive where I think I completed 5 consecutive balls to Fowler. He was just working those underneath crossing routes.
I said to my team at halftime, I said, guys, we have got to take Fowler out of the game. When he comes across, grab him, hold him. Do not let him run by you.
I see what your character is about as a head coach.
Oh.
But look at James Lowe. I did get beaten deep.
Look at you.
And the ball squibbed down there. The Aggies cover it up.
Well, you know, that's why the jersey is dirty.
Jesse.